Bruce Lee was born in November 27, 1940, San Francisco, California, and died in July 20, 1973, in Hong Kong. American-born film actor who was renowned for his martial arts power and who helped popularize martial arts movies in the 1970s. Lee was born in San Francisco, but he grew up in Hong Kong. He was introduced to the entertainment industry at an early age, as his father was an opera singer and a part-time actor. The younger Lee began appearing in films as a child and was frequently cast as a juvenile delinquent or street urchin. As a teenager, he took up with local gangs and began learning kungfu to better defend himself. At that time, he also started dance lessons, which further refined his footwork and balance. In 1958, Lee won the Hong Kong Cha-Cha champion. Lee's parents were increasingly disturbed by his street fighting run-ins with the police, and they sent him to live in the US shortly after he turned 18. He lived with family friends in Seattle, where he finished high school and studied philosophy and drama at the University of Washington. While in Seattle, he opened his first martial arts school, and in 1964, he relocated to Oakland, California, to found a second school. It was about that time he developed his own technique, jeet, a blend of ancient kung fu, fencing, boxing, and philosophy, which he began teaching instead of traditional martial arts. He drew the attention of a television producer after giving a kung fu demonstration at a Los Angeles area karate tournament, and he cast the sidekick Kato in the television series The Green Hornet in 1966 to 1967. Lee had difficulty finding acting jobs after the cancellation of The Green Hornet, and he began supplementing his income by giving private jeet lessons to Hollywood stars, including Steve McQueen. In the 1969 film Marlowe, Lee received notice for a scene in which he destroyed an entire office through kickboxing and karate moves. Troubled by his inability to find other suitable roles, however, he moved back to Hong Kong in 1971. There Lee starred in two films that broke box office records throughout Asia, and he later found success in US with Tang Shang Da Zayong 1971, The Fist of Fury, or The Big Boss, Hong Kong English title, and Jing Wu Men in 1972, The Chinese Connection, or Fist of Fury in Hong Kong English title. Lee used his sudden box office clout to form his own production company, and he co-produced, directed, wrote and starred in his next film, Meng Long Go Jiang, Return of the Dragon or The Way of the Dragon. Lee's following film, Enter the Dragon, 1973, was the first joint venture between Hong Kong and US-based production companies, and it became a worldwide hit, thrusting Lee into international movie stardom. Tragically, he died 6 days before the film Hong Kong release. The mysterious circumstances of his death were a source of speculation for fans and historians, but the cause of death was officially listed as swelling of the brain caused by an allergic reaction to the headache medication. At that time, Lee had been working on a film called Game of Death, which was pieced together with stand-ins and cardboards cut out of Lee's face and was released in 1978. After Lee's death, his films gained a large cult of following. Lee himself became one of the biggest pop culture icons of the 20th century, and he is often credited with changing the way Asians were presented in American films. A slight fictionated biopic, Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story, appeared in 1933. His son Brandon followed Lee into acting, and he died after being shot with a misloaded prop gun while filming The Crow in 1994.